What's going on? Man, I know I keep talking about this dang this time travel. You know what I'm saying? And how basically, man, I mean, it makes a lot of dang sense, man. It would explain a lot of like calamities and just how in the heck is the dark side so damn smart, dude? How are they so fucking smart, dude? Or how do they appear to be so smart, dude? I mean, there's a better explanation. How do they appear to be so smart? Uh, you know, it's just like Biff in what was that called? Back to the Future. You know what I'm saying? Biff, the dude who stole Marty McFly's almanac. You know what I'm saying? And shows up in the future as an antichrist type character, like a corporatist, straight cutthroat Musashi businessman, the Book of Five Rings businessman type from Japan. But you know what I'm saying? Just a regular dude that just happens to take advantage of a time traveler's inexperience. That would make sense again. A time traveler's going back around. He's starting from the beginning, and he's making mistakes. Then he's looking back, and at the end again from the beginning, like, holy crap, man, that went wrong. And he keeps going back to the beginning, trying to overthrow God, basically. Like, each time he has a new almost point. Because, I mean, like I said earlier, I was talking about how when Jesus came, Satan looked at him. I mean, a lot of people want to say Jesus' name is this or that or the other. I say his name is probably all these names. To different people, they have a different name for the same entities, because I mean, in some extent you could say God, Jesus are entities, but they're not just entities. But when you say that, it can relate, because it means it's beyond mankind. Anything beyond man is entity-ish. So I mean, not to deny respect or reverence or power there. I mean, I'm just saying an entity is powerful. These are the most powerful entities that are the few fighting the many. You know what I'm saying? Out here. You know what I'm saying? But many together. It's like, here, this is a great reference I always like to use. All the magicians of Pharaoh couldn't beat Moses. You know what I'm saying? All the magicians of Babylon, when Daniel was taken as a captive, could not overdo him, could outdo him. That's how you tell the truth between who's a prophet, who's not, because they get thrown in fires and live. They say something's gonna happen, and it happens. That's as simple as it is. But it would make sense that someone would go back and basically snitch, drop dimes in advance. Like, you can't tell it. Listen, here's the thing: righteous men. How do you get righteous men to kill prophets? Well, if you know that that's a prophet, but you want the righteous men to kill him because it suits your agenda, well, you got to lie on that prophet. You got to do everything you can to undermine him before he's even born, because this is your second time through time, your third time, fourth time, a millionth time. And yeah, I mean, there's just infinite possibilities. It's Groundhog's Day. That's what I'm seeing out of this Bible. When it comes to Satan, Isaiah 14, the part in Ezekiel where it talks about Satan walked amongst the fiery stones of heaven with God. So, I mean, like I said, when I look at Satan, I don't look at him as I mean, he's inferior to God, true. Inferior morally to even some humans, some other entities, because we're all sovereign. We have our own will. So he's powerful indeed, taught by God himself. So that's who taught him the skills, what it takes to try to even overthrow God himself, which shows you the love of God, that he would even inform his enemy, or the enemy of his children, how to wreak havoc upon all, even, you know what I'm saying, himself, even, you know what I'm saying. He gave him this level of sovereignty to where you have the right to go ahead and destroy yourself if you want. I mean, only in the fact that I stated in the beginning, this was what would happen if you do it. You're going to destroy yourself. So if you go against what was stated in the beginning, if you violate contract, That's what it is, man. They worked up all this legalese. Uh, Legalese just basically means it sounds legal. It's what the ancient Chinese philosophers used to do. They do legalese or religious ease, where it sounds religious, political, all amalgamated. What it was is they couldn't talk bad about the emperor. You'll get your head cut off, or bad will happen to you. So you come up with these complex, roundabout ways to talk about people that deserve it. Not just listen, not just being smart, not just being a mocker and a slanderer and a sower of discord, but someone who's actually trying to get a message out. But if they came straight out and told you the message, they'd be killed for it. So, I mean, this is also like someone came and instructed them and warned them, like, look, we're going to try to appeal to the evil ones to come back to morality. This is before Christ, too, might I add. In a total land separate from all this, but yet they were dabbling in righteousness and wickedness, and they were aware of what was going on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It sucks when you find out everything you've ever been taught is kind of evil. You can't just, if you want to live for the full extent of your life, you're not going to come straight out against it, because the powers that be will chop you to pieces, and you'll be a pile of stones. You know what I'm saying? Fucking on some hill somewhere that will be forgotten in a few hundred years, basically. And these time travelers, man. All right, Nimrod, man. Nimrod, the Tower of Babel. Was the Tower of Babel an ancient CERN machine? Just instead of built in the ground, was it built like up, like on top of each other? Boom, 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 boom. And basically, here's something. This is back to Chinese as well, dude. And this is like something that it sucks because it's unclear to me, but it seems to jive with a lot of other eerie, anomalous connections. It talks about how the whole knowledge of the yin and yang, or the course of the sun, basically is what that means. Basically, and it into a very, really what it means. It's science. It's like science of the cosmos. You know what I'm saying? And the sun is the easiest thing to recognize. It's the brightest. It's always in the sky during the day. At night, it's not there, but it's still there. Just you can't see it. It's on the other side of the planet. They said they learned all this physics, complex math and stuff from these hidden, not deceptive, but hidden, encoded symbolism. Because that's the thing about symbols. A symbol convey a lot of information with just a little scribble can convey a lot if you have the proper way to interpret what's being said. You know what I'm saying? And it said that these Chinese people found on the tops of mountains inscriptions carved in. Like, listen, like during the flood of Noah, these haughty men who didn't listen to Noah when he was prophesying, saying, look, the world's about to be destroyed. And they just kept going about their business. As the rains were coming, they were like, oh shit, maybe Noah told us the truth. And they start working their way up the mountain. Now the rain will stop. They were like Tibet. Like, what's at the top of Tibet? Book of the Dead, Tibetan monks, Bigfoot, Yeti. Anyway, they kept working their way up this mountain, and eventually they're like, the rain's not going to stop. We're going to be killed. How can we come back to life? We're going to die. God's judgment's true. He is going to destroy us. So they carved alchemical symbolism information on the tops of mountaintops. And I recently heard Rob Skiba talk about this on one of his videos, that someone learned information from a mountaintop, an old inscription. And it sounds like this is confirmed with China's breakdown. And now I'm starting to think that Mithra, Fuxi, and Nimrod are all the same guy. And it's just the same. It's like I was saying, a time traveler went back and he dropped knowledge to all these different key people. And God's been even, like Nebuchadnezzar, for instance. How did Nebuchadnezzar get all that power? But then God let him get it, and then he was like, boom, he struck him with stupidness for a season, for a few seasons, that he would learn where the true power lies.